Hey y'all, so I'm back. So I'm gonna redo the live that I did last week. The other live, the other live was terrible. So I think I was kind of caught off guard with my books coming. My books had came that day. I wasn't expecting them to come, so it was just like I was so consumed with that. So yeah, the video ended up being trash. So I took it down. So I'm gonna redo it. There's some things I could have did a whole lot better in that video. So here I am to redo it. Um, I'm actually gonna actually read the Willie Lynch letter, and I got some notes here, a little bit of notes or whatever. But the reason why this is important to talk about, I feel like, is because of we've been brainwashed for so long that we're comfortable with the lies, and I'm talking to my people, you know, and even if you not a part of my culture or whatever, you're a Gentile. Gentile is a person that is not from the 12 tribes. You're a Gentile, so that means European, all the third race of people, third races of people, meaning like Asian. The Asians today, they would be considered a third race. Um, the Hispanics today, anybody that's not the indigenous people, um, and then also the Hamites. The Hamites will be Gentiles. The Hamites are Africans, like Ethiopians, Egyptians, stuff like that. They would be considered Gentiles. So African American Negroes, which were not Africans, but African American Negroes, Black, whatever you want to call yourself, that's in America. Even though we scattered throughout the whole world. But I'm specifically talking about the tribe of Judah, the ones here, the ones that's here. If you know you're from the tribe of Judah, wherever you are, I'm in the U.S., so um, we are not Gentiles. We was taught that if you grew up in church like I did, we was taught that we was Gentiles, which is not true. We're not the Gentiles. We are the people of the Bible. We are the chosen ones of Yah. He established a covenant with our forefathers, Abraham, Isaac, and Yaakov, who everyone calls him Jacob, but his real name was Yaakov. Uh, and Yishkak. Yishkak is Isaac. Isaac is his European name or whatever. That's the name they changed it to, but his name was Yishkak and Abraham. So I want to. I feel like this is important to understand why we just can't. A lot of us can't break free from the truth. I mean, we a lot of us can't break free from. Sorry, break free from lies. But and I also just a disclaimer. Man, I got hair everywhere. Sorry. I have a scarf here, so when I'm learning that when I read scriptures and stuff like that, I'm supposed to cover my head when I read the scriptures. So I may just leave it on. Maybe I should just leave it on. I'm just gonna leave it on. Um, but anyway, well, no, I'm gonna take it off because I'm about to read the Willie Lynch letter, and we need to understand that a lot of us, most of us, suffer from that. That's why we can't. We First of all, Stockholm syndrome is something is where you empathize with your oppressor. You create a psychological bond. So it's a lot of us that's defending our masters. You know what I'm saying? The oppressors. We offend. I mean, we kind of go along with their program, thinking that their program is right. And my mom's friend is older than her, and she said that her grandfather used to say, this is really sad. Her grandfather used to say, like, I think my mom's friend is like in her 70s or whatever. So her grandfather was like up there in age. He probably was around when you know the civil rights movement and all that stuff was going on. But he used to say that whenever a white man said it, it's right. And I just like, bruh, like That's sad. Like he really was brainwashed. You know what I'm saying? And to make a disclaimer here, I need to make a disclaimer because I don't. If people know me, y'all know me. Y'all know how I get down. But for the people doesn't know me and you watching this, I'm not a racist. You know what I'm saying? I'm just gonna talk about the truth, what happened to our people, and it is what it is. You know what I'm saying? If you can't handle the truth, then I don't want to tell you because I'm gonna talk about some stuff, and especially if you're of European descent, white, whoever, whatever you call yourself, I I'm gonna talk about what your ancestors did to my people and still doing to our people today. You know what I'm saying? Like we're still not we're not free. We're still in the land of our captives, and so much stuff is going on to us. But you know what? It's crazy because there's some people, some Gentile people of European descent that understands and know the truth, and they speak the truth, but they're not gonna they don't put them out there. You know what I'm saying? Because they don't want people to know. So, but there's some that realize they've been taught a lie, also know, finding out the truth about a lot of things, and they're also exposing some things. You know what I'm saying? But you would never hear about them because the media is not going to want you to hear about that. You know what I'm saying? So, oh, want you guys to see my shirt. So my auntie made me this shirt. Like I'm really digging in. So the black over 100 stolen, the Black Holocaust, never forget. And they quick to tell us they quick to tell us to get over it. But meanwhile, if you over there in West Hollywood, Beverly Hills, over there in that area, oh, they people over there remember. Oh, every year the Armenian had they think about the genocide and stuff like that. They protest or whatever their little remembrance thing. They make us remembrance the Jewish, the Holocaust. You know what I'm saying? But when it comes to our stuff, we're told to forget about it. You know what I'm saying? But anyway, why should we forget about it when y'all still doing stuff to us to this day? But anyway, so this is the Willie Lynch letter. It's about 7 pages long. 7 pages, right? I'm gonna read all of it. I'm gonna read all of it. We're gonna talk about this. You know what I'm saying? Because this is what they using to control us. Back then they had physical slaves. So with the physical slaves, this is what they use to Anyway, I'm about to read it. So Willie Lynch letter. Willie Lynch letter, the making of a slave. Okay. This speech was delivered by Willie Lynch on the bank of the James River in the colony of Virginia in 1712. Lynch was a British slave owner in the West Indies. He was invited to the colony of Virginia in 1712 to teach his methods to slave owners there. The term lynching is derived from his last name. So lynching comes from his last name. So I'm gonna read this and then we're gonna talk about like some parts. Anyway, you'll see as I go along. Okay. Greetings, gentlemen. I greet you here on the banks on the bank of the James River in the year of our Lord I'm gonna start over. Greetings, gentlemen. I greet you here on the bank of the James River in the year of our Lord 1712. First, I shall thank you, the gentlemen of the colony of Virginia, for bringing me here. I am here to help you solve some of your problems with slaves. And you see how you say in the year of our Lord. So, that they're Christians. Your invitation reached me on my modest plantation in the West Indies, where I have experimented with some of the newest and still the oldest methods for control of slaves. Ancient Rome would envy us if my program is implemented. As our boat sails south on the James River, named for our illustrious king, whose version of the Bible we cherish, I saw enough to know what that your problem is not unique. While Rome used cords of woods as crosses for standing human bodies along its highways in great numbers, you are you are here using the tree and the rope on occasions. So you know what that means. They're strange fruit when they was lynching our people. And the Catholics, they was burning people on crosses and stuff. I caught the whiff of a dead slave hanging from a tree a couple of miles back. You are not only losing valuable stock by hangings, you are having uprisings, slaves are running away, your crops are sometimes left in the fields too long for maximum profit, you suffer occasional fires, your animals are killed. Gentlemen, you know what your problems are. I do not need to elaborate. I'm here to I am here to enumerate your problems. I'm here to introduce you to a method of solving them. In my bag here, I have a foolproof method for controlling your black slaves. I guarantee every one of you that if installed correctly, it will control the slaves for at least, listen to this, it will control the slaves for at least 300 years. My method is simple. Any member of your family or your overseer can use it. Does that mean even their kids? I have outlined a number of differences among the slaves, and I take these differences and make them bigger. I use fear, distrust, and envy for control purposes. These methods have worked on my modest plantation in the West Indies, and it still work throughout the South. Take this simple little list of differences and think about them. On top of my list is age, but it's there only because it starts with an A. The second is color or shade. There is intelligence, sex, sizes of plantations, status on plantations, attitudes of owners, whether the slaves live in the valley or on a hill, east, west, north, south, have fine hair, coarse hair, or is tall or short. Now that you have a list of differences, I shall give you an outline of action. But before that, I will assure you that distrust is stronger than trust, and envy stronger than adulation, respect, or admiration. The black slaves are receiving this indoctrination. The black slaves, after receiving this indoctrination, should carry on and will become self-refueling and self generating for hundreds of years, maybe thousands. Don't forget, you must pitch the old black male versus the young black male, and the young black male versus against the old black male. You must use the dark skinned slaves versus the light slaves, and the light skinned slaves versus the dark skinned slaves. You must use the female versus the male, and the male versus the female. Now you see where we get our division from. You know what I'm saying? Because if you look, okay, so you know colorism. Colorism is a real thing. You know how they treat. I'm a I'm gonna talk about something that happened to my mom. My mom is a dark skinned woman, and when she was married to my stepdad at the time, um she had a problem with his mom because they was, you know, saying she was light skinned, so their family was light skinned, and she treated my mom bad because she was dark skinned. So that's a real thing. Colorism is real, and people nowadays don't really like to talk about it. I feel like especially guys, because when I see it on like on social media and stuff like that, they try to denounce that like, oh no, that's not real. That's all in your head and blah blah blah. But it's a real thing. Like, and it all started from him. Willie Lynch started this colorism thing. The light skin think that they're better. You know what I'm saying? Because we've been taught to think like that. You know what I'm saying? And dark skinned people are beneath. You know, so then you hear about dark skinned people attacking the light skinned people. That's all from the Willie Lynch. You know what I'm saying? Like, and then another thing I noticed too, like on YouTube, is we have a whole gender war going on. The male against female, female against male. Like, they really, it's a whole thing called divestors or whatever. And how black women, specifically, it's this one chick that's on. Well, she was on YouTube, but she got her platform got removed or whatever, deactivated, whatever. They removed her platform because I guess, well, no, I know, I guess she will promote hate against black male, and she's a black woman. You know what I'm saying? She would say that if you have a boy, if you're pregnant and you're having a boy, you should abort the boy. You know what I'm saying? Like, and it's the stuff that she would talk about. She would talk so down and negative about our black men, you know, and creating women to idolize and worship other races of men, because she would say that our men are dusties and stuff like that. She would just really just downgrade or down talk our black men. You know what I'm saying? And then it's on the flip side, it's the black men that talks bad about black women. You know what I mean? Now it's this whole passport bros movement where they feel like American or Western women aren't, especially specifically black women, but I know they're saying Western women, but most importantly, this black women though, that they go into other countries getting women. You know what I mean? And because we're not, they say that black women aren't submissive and we're ratchet and all kind of stuff. They say all kind of negative stuff about us. So you see this very prevalent on YouTube. As a matter of fact, it's a lot of gender wars. It's specifically black. Now you don't see other races. You don't see Chinese women and Chinese men dogging each other out on YouTube, or white women and white men. I mean, they have their little things, but it's not like how black people are. Like, we constantly tear each other down. We're suffering from the Willie Lynch syndrome. You know what I mean? Like, it's terrible. Like, and I don't subscribe. Like, when I heard of Cynthia G when she was out, you know what I'm saying, and stuff like that, and I just couldn't get with her. I couldn't get with her narrative. You know what I'm saying? Because they praise specifically. They praise white men like white men are just gold, and that's what the Willie Lynch letter was about. For you to, it's gonna get deeper. It's gonna get worse than this, okay? But you know what I'm saying? You see what I'm saying? Like, he was the one. Willie Lynch was the one that created to put us against each other by using our differences. You know what I'm saying? And that's where it comes from. It comes from the Willie Lynch letter, and we're still suffering. This was written in 1712. He read this in 1712. We still suffering from this to this day, and we 2000 about to be 24. You know what I'm saying? In a couple of days. Okay, let me finish. You must also have white servants and overseers who distrust all blacks. Interesting. But it is necessary that your slaves trust and depend on us. They must love, respect, and trust only us. Ain't that a shame? Like, and that's still going on to this day. They don't trust us. They killing us off. They treating us bad. But we like, it's so many people that's just like, oh, the white man is the savior. He's our savior. You know what I'm saying? White people in general, because it's black men, it's like, oh, I'm only dating white women. They feel like dating white women is an upgrade. You know what I'm saying? When do they not realize that if a white woman say that you did something wrong to them, that they're gonna throw you under the jail? Just think about what's that dude named Jonathan Mayers that's going through what he's going through right now. How they found him guilty. Now, I'm not one to be following all these freaking celebrities. I'm not into celebrities lifestyles. I really don't care. You know what I mean? I see certain things, okay, of course what's going on with certain people because they constantly throwing it at your face. But for me to take time to just actually just look into it and, you know, see what it's all about, you know what I'm saying? Just have my life surrounded about what a celebrity's doing and how they living. That's not me. I could care less. But I came across this video. I don't remember what video I was watching about Jonathan Mayers. And so, of course, I've seen it a lot. I never clicked on it, but I was like, oh, let me see what they're talking about as far as him goes, you know. And I didn't know that he was an actor. I never even heard of Jonathan Mayers, to be honest with you. But I remember seeing the video that was released of him running from the white lady. He's running from her. They found him guilty. They still found him guilty. You know what I'm saying? Now all of a sudden everybody all these movie productions or whatever, they canceling their their contract. They don't want to work with him. Basically, he can't. I guess he's now almost like blackballed or whatever, banned, you know, from being in movies and stuff like that. But you see how the system works? It's so against us, you know, like, and I'm talking about this letter and the syndrome to make a point. Okay, just bear with me. But you see, like, he was running from that white lady, and he still got charged with not guilty. I mean, he still got the guilty plea or verdict or whatever. Um, Gentlemen, okay, so let me just start off. So you must also have white servants and overseers who distrust all blacks, but it is necessary that your slaves trust and depend on us. They must love, respect, and trust only us. So and not only did they can't they hate us, you know what I'm saying? But they teach other races to hate us too and distrust us. Like, you go, like, again, like I was, you go inside these Asian stores, you know, beauty supply stores, whatever. They're following you around. They making sure you don't steal because they're taught that we steal. You know what I'm saying? Like, they give us they put a negative stigma on us, and all these other races hate us too. Gentlemen, gentlemen, these kits are your keys to control. Use them. Have your wives and children use them. Never miss an opportunity. If used intensely for 1 year, the slaves themselves will remain perpetually distrustful. Thank you, gentlemen. Now, the next part of this letter is called "Let's Make a Slave." It was the interest and business of slaveholders to study human nature, and the slave nature in particular, with a view to practical results. I and many of them attained astonishing proficiency in this direction. They had to deal not with earth, wood, and stone, but with men, and by every regard they had for their own safety and prosperity. They needed to know the material on which they were to work, conscious of the injustice, wrong they were every hour perpetuating, and knowing what they themselves would do. Were they the victims of such wrongs? They were constantly looking for the first signs of the dreaded retribution. They watched, therefore, with skilled and practiced eyes, and learned to read with great accuracy the state of mind and heart of the slave through his sable face. Unusual sobriety, uh, apparent abstractions, sullenness, and indifference indeed in any mood out of the common was afforded ground for suspension and inquiry. Frederick Douglass' "Let's Make a Slave" is a study of the scientific process of man breaking and slave making. It describes the rationale and results of the Anglo-Saxons' ideas and methods of ensuring the master-slave relationship. Let's make a slave. The original and development of a social being called the Negro. Let's make a slave. What do we need? First of all, we need. I'm gonna say. First of all, we need a black nigger man. That's exactly what it says. A pregnant nigger woman and her baby nigger boy. Second, we will use the same basic principle that we use in breaking a horse, combined with some more sustaining factors. What we do with horses is that we break them from one form of life to another. That is, we reduce them from their natural state in nature. Whereas nature provides them with the natural capacity to take care of their offspring, we break that natural string of independence from them and thereby create a dependency status so that we may be able to get from them useful production for our business and pleasure. Cardinal principles for making a slave. Uh, for fear that our for fear that our future generations may not understand the principles of breaking both of the beasts together, the nigger and the horse, we understand that short-range planning economics results in periodic economic chaos. So that to avoid turmoil in the economy, it requires us to have breadth and depth in long-range comprehensive planning, articulating both skilled, sharp perceptions. We lay down the following principles for long-range comprehensive economic planning. Both nigger and horses are no good to the economy in the wild or natural state. Both must be broken and tied together for orderly production. So they don't even think that we're civilized. Like, they look at Back then, they said that we was uncivilized. When actuality, if you study and look up the history of the world, they was the ones that was uncivilized. We talking about Europeans. They was the ones that were living in caves. They was cavemen. You know what I'm saying? Living up in the mountains. They didn't even know how to be civilized, right? Meanwhile, on civilization was on the earth or whatever. They stole if they stole the information on how to be civilized. You know what I'm saying? Like they came down from the mountains because it was a thing that they was having all these diseases and stuff like that, um, and they couldn't get rid of these diseases, and they trying to figure out how to, get rid of these diseases. So they coming out the mountains or whatever, and coming into civilized nations, and they stealing the information and the knowledge on how to be civilized, which was black people that they stole it from or got it from, and then they turn around and say that we're uncivilized, and they compare us to animals. So the Constitution says that we're only 3/5 human. You know what I'm saying? Like they don't even look at us like we're human. Why do you think they killing unarmed? Besides them being racist, obviously, but why do you think they're killing our unarmed? A lot of them unarmed black men. You know what I'm saying? Like it makes and they getting away with it. Anyway, this letter gonna make you mad because when I was reading it, I was just like, man, this is something. Anyway, for early future, special and particular attention must be paid to the female and the youngest offspring. Both must be crossbred to produce a variety and division of labor. Both must be taught to respond to a peculiar new language. Uh, Psychological and physical instruction of containment must be created for both. We hold the six cardinal principles as truth to be self-evident based upon following the discourse concerning the economics of breaking and tying the horse and the nigger together, all inclusive of the six principles laid down here. Note, neither principle alone will suffice for good economics. All principles must be employed for orderly good of the nation. Accordingly, both a wild horse and a wild or natural nigger is dangerous even if captured, for they will have the tendency to seek their customary freedom and, in doing so, might kill you in your sleep. You cannot rest. They sleep while you are awake and are awake while you sleep. They are dangerous. Near the family house, and it requires too much labor to watch them away from the house. Above all, you cannot get them to work in this natural state. Hence, both the horse and the nigger must be broken. That is, breaking them from one form of mental life to another. Keep the body, take the mind. In other words, break the will to resist. So, you see what the physical, not only was we enslaved physically, but they also slaved us mentally. So even though we free physically from slavery, mentally the slave mentality haven't left us. Now the breaking process is the same for both the horse and the nigger. That's crazy how they just use these words about us and compare us to animals. Only slightly varying in degrees, slightly. But as we said before, there is an art in long range economic planning. You must keep your eye and thoughts on the female and the offspring of the horse and the nigger. A brief discourse in offspring development will shed light on the key to sound economic principles. Pay little attention to the generation of original breaking, but concentrate on future generation. Therefore, if you break the female mother, she will break the offspring in its early years of development. And when the offspring is old enough to work, she will deliver it up to you. For her normal female protective tendencies will have been lost in the original breaking process. For example, take the case of the wild stud horse, a female horse and an already infant horse, and compare the breaking process with two captured nigger males in their natural state. A pregnant nigger woman with her infant offspring take the stud horse, break him for limited containment. Completely break the female horse until she becomes very gentle, whereas you or anybody can ride her in her comfort. Breed the mar and the stud until you have the desired offspring. Then you can turn the stud to freedom until you need him again. Train the female horse whereby she will eat out of your hand, and she will in turn train the infant horse to eat out of your hand also. When it comes to breaking the uncivilized nigger, use the same process, but vary the degree and step up the pressure so as to do a complete reversal of the mind. Take the meanest and most restless nigger, strip him of his clothes in front of the remaining male niggers, the female, and the nigger infant, tear and feather him, tie each leg to a different horse, face in opposite directions, set him afire, and beat both horses to pull him apart in front of the remaining niggers. The next step is to take a bullwhip and beat the remaining nigger males to the point of death in front of the female and the infant. Don't kill him, but put the fear of God in him, for he can be useful for future breeding. The breaking process of the African woman. Take the female and run a series of tests on her to see if she will submit to your desires willingly. Test her in every way because she is the most important factor for good economics. If she shows any signs of resistance and submitting completely to your will, do not hesitate to use the bullwhip on her to extract that last bit of bitch out of her. Take care take care not to kill her, for in doing so you spoil good economics. When in complete submission, she will train her offspring in the early years to submit to labor when they become of age. Understanding is the best thing. Therefore, we shall go deeper into the area of the subject matter concerning what we have produced here in this breaking process of the female nigger. We have reversed the relationship in her natural uncivilized state. She would have a strong dependency on the uncivilized nigger male. We have reversed the relationship in her natural uncivilized state. She would have a strong dependency on the uncivilized nigger male, and she would have a limited protective tendency toward her independent male offspring and will raise male offspring to be dependent like her. So basically, this is how the feminization of men started, you know, like, and how they was teaching us to be independent. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, because we're so fearful of what could be done. You know what I'm saying to our black. I mean, I know me when my son. Even now though, I think it's more so now because he's of age and he already got three strikes against him because he's already found guilty because he's a black man in society, and my brother too, and you know what I'm saying, other people, but other black men, you know, but they did all this in front of us to humiliate our men, you know, like, and it caused us to psychologically, it traumatized us, you know, just seeing that. And you see now today how they trying to push, and well, I'm not going to say forgive me if you are part of the ABC club, but it is what it is. I don't agree with the lifestyle. I don't hate the people, but I don't agree with the lifestyle. It's against, you know, the Bible. But anyway, you see how they trying to force that on our black males, and what they had the first gay NFL player, and you know, they just trying to constantly trying to feminize our men. And not only that, they got all, why do our black men have to wear dresses? What is the purpose of that? Why do we constantly have to see that? You know what I'm saying? The straight men, the quote unquote straight men, they in dresses on TV or whatever. Why? You know what I'm saying? But whatever. Nature had provided for this type of balance. We reversed nature by burning and pulling a civilized nigger apart and bullying the other to the point of death, all in her presence, by her being left alone unprotected with the male image destroyed. So they destroyed the male image in front of us, so we could just depend. You know what I'm saying? Like, so we won't depend on them. You know what I'm saying? And that's where that independent mind state come in, and role reversal. How a lot of black women are so masculine. You know what I'm saying? And it's all from this. Like, it's generation after generation after generation after generation after generation. Like, we've been, as of 2019, we've been in the land of our captive for 400 years. We came here 1619. We was enslaved 1619, and 2019 made 400 years of us being in, the land of our captive. 400 years, you know? And you see generation after generation after generation. We have this strong generational curse up on us. You know what I'm saying? Because our parents had the slave mentality, their parents had the slave mentality. It just trickled down. You know what I'm saying? And that's why our black families is utterly destroyed. They don't even want us to have a black family. You know what I'm saying? Like, they don't want the black, that they give us the what you call that? Cow works, whatever you call that, welfare, right? They give the woman the welfare, but you can't have a man in the home. You know what I'm saying? In order for you to get it, you can't have a man in the home. Like, they purposely dismantle that. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of black women is, I don't want to say a lot, but some black women depends on that for to take care, like they child care and stuff like that. We get all kind of assistance for that, but we can't have a man in the home to get help. Like, they don't want to help us stay together. The intention of us being apart is on purpose, and it starts from here. As you see me reading what I'm reading, it starts from here. Um. So male, our black men male image has been destroyed on us intentionally since slavery, and it continues on to this day. You know. Um by her being left alone, unprotected. So the man is supposed to provide and protect for his family. You know what I'm saying? That's his role as a man. By her being left alone, unprotected, with the male image destroyed, the ordeal caused her to move from her psychological dependent state to a frozen independent state. In this frozen psychological state of independence, she will raise her male and female offspring in reverse roles. For fear of the young man's life, she will psychologically train him to be mentally weak and dependent, but physically strong. Because she has become psychologically independent, she would train her female offspring to be psychologically independent. What have you got? You've got the nigger woman out front and the nigger man behind and scared. So we teach our women, oh, you only know man, you only know man to do nothing. You can do this by yourself. When no, we y'all created us to be a helpmeet to the men. You know what I'm saying? Like, we need each other, but we've been taught that we don't need only us. We've been taught that we don't need our men when we need our man. This is Willie Lynch syndrome. By the time, okay, wait. This is a perfect situation of sound sleep and economics. Before the breaking process, we had to be alertly on guard at all times. Now we can sleep soundly. For out of frozen fear, his woman stands guard for us. He cannot get past her early slave molding process. He is a good tool, now ready to be tied to the horse at a tender age. That's crazy. By the time a nigger boy reaches the age of 16, he is soundly broken in and ready for a lifelong of sound and efficient work and the reproduction of a unit of good labor force. Continually through the breaking of uncivilized and savage niggers, by throwing the nigger female savage into a frozen psychological state of independence, by killing the protective male image, and by creating a submissive dependent mind of the nigger male slave, we have created an orbiting cycle that turns on its own axis forever. Unless a phenomenon occurs and reshifts the positions of the male and female slaves, we show what we mean by example. Let's the case of the two economic slave units and examine them close. Okay, yeah, all right, keep reading. The Negro marriage. We breed two niggers together. We breed two nigger males with two nigger females. Then we take the nigger male away from them and keep them moving and working. Say one nigger female bears a nigger female and the other bears another nigger male. Both nigger females being with influence of the nigger male image, frozen with the independent psychology will raise their offspring into reverse position. The one with the female offspring would teach her to be like herself, independent and negotiable. We negotiate with her, through her, by her, negotiates at her at will. The one with the nigger male offspring, she being frozen subconscious fear of his for his life, will raise him to be mentally dependent and weak, but physically strong. In other words, body over mind. Now, in a few years, when these two offspring become fertile for early reproduction, we will mate and breed them and continue the cycle. That is good sounding and long range comprehensive planning. See, so they have us create these our kids to be like this. You know what I'm saying? You see why so many of our boys is so many women treat their sons like their husbands and like their men, and we have a lot of weak or men that don't even think for them. You know what I'm saying? Like they don't know how to take up the masculine role because it's been stripped from them from slavery. You know what I'm saying? And like, bruh, like reading this letter, it's just like, bruh, it will make you, it will make you, and I, it will make you almost want to hate people or certain races of people. But when you really follow Yah and know Yah's words, you can't hate nobody. You know what I'm saying? Like I ain't gotta be all buddy buddy with you, but you know what I'm saying? Okay, now, okay. So, a possible interloping negatives. Earlier, we talked about the non-economic good of the horse and the nigger in their wild or natural state. We talked out the principle of breaking and lining them together for orderly production. Furthermore, we talked about paying particular attention to the female savage and her offspring for orderly future planning. Then, more recently, we said that by reversing the position of the male and female savages, we created an orbiting cycle that turns on its own axle forever unless a phenomenon occurred and reshifts position of the male and female savages. Our experts warned us about the possibility of this phenomenon occurring, for they say that the mind has a strong drive to correct and recorrect itself over a period of time. If it can teach some substantial original historical base, and they advise us that the best way to deal with this phenomenon is to shave off the brute mental history and create a multiplicity of phenomena of illusions, so that each illusion will twirl in its own orbit, something similar to floating balls in a vacuum. This creation of multiplicity of phenomena of illusions entails the principle of crossbreeding the nigger and the horse, as we said it above. The purpose of which is to create a diversified division of labor, thereby creating different levels of labor and different values of illusion at each connecting level of labor. The result of which is the severance of the points of original beginnings for each sphere illusion. Since we feel that the subject matter may get more complicated as we proceed in laying down our economic plan concerning the purpose, reason, and effect of crossbreeding horses and niggers, we shall lay down the following definition terms for future generations. Orbiting cycles means a thing turning in a given path. Axis means upon which or around which a body turns. Phenomenon means something beyond ordinary conception and inspires awe and wonder. Multiplicity means a great number, means a globe. Crossbreeding a horse means taking a horse and breeding it with an ass, and you get a dumb backward ass long-headed mule that is not reproductive nor productive by itself. Crossbreeding niggers mean taking so many drops of good white blood and putting them into as many nigger women as possible, varying the drops by the various tones that you want, and then letting them breed with each other until another cycle of color appears as you desire. So that's how we get all these different tones and stuff. What this means is that puts the nigger and the horse in the breeding pot, mix some asses and some good white blood, and what do you get? You get a multiplicity of colors of ass backward, unusual niggers running tied to backward ass long headed mules, the one productive of itself, the other sterile. The one constant, the other dying. We keep the nigger constant for we may replace the mules for another tool. Both mule and nigger tied to each other, neither knowing where the other came from, and neither productive for itself nor without each other. That's crazy. Almost done. Uh, Control language. Crossbreeding completed. For further severance from their original beginning, we must completely annihilate the mother tongue. So we spoke a whole different language when we came here. This is a new. We was Hebrews, man. We spoke the ivory tongue, the Ivric tongue. We must completely annihilate the mother tongue of both the new nigger and the new mule and institute a new language that involves the new life's work of both. You know, language is a peculiar institution. It leads to the heart of a people. The more a foreigner knows about the language of another country, the more he is able to move through all levels of that society. Therefore, if the foreigner is an enemy of the country, to the extent that he knows the body of the language, to that extent is the country vulnerable to attack or invasion of a foreign culture. Last letter, and I'm about to really talk. For example, if you take a slave, if you teach him all about your language, he would know all your secrets, and he is then no more a slave, for you can't fool him any longer. And being a fool is one of the basic ingredients of any incidents to the maintenance of the slavery system. For example, if you told a slave that he must perform in getting out our crops, he knows the language well. He would know that our crops didn't mean our crops, and the slavery system would break down, for he would relate on the basis of what our crops really meant. So you have to be careful in setting up the new language. For the slaves will soon be in your house talking to you as man to man, and that is death to our economic system. In addition, the definition of words or terms are only a minute apart, a minute part of the process. Values are created and transported by communication through body of the language. A total society has many interconnected value systems. All the values in the society of bridges have languages to connect them for orderly working in the society. But for these language bridges, many value systems will sharply clash and cause eternal strife or a civil war. The degree of the conflict being determined by the magnitude of the issues are relative opposing strength in whatever form. Uh, anyway, I'm gonna be done. Anyway, you got the gist of this letter, right? So we're still in this. They still operate in this letter. You know what I'm saying? And even though we're free, we still suffer from Stockholm syndrome, where everything the white man says is golden. You know what I'm saying? They teach us in these schools. They teach us in seminary school, theology school. They teaching us everything about everything, which is all lies. So the reason why I wanted to bring this up, you know what I'm saying? The system is designed for us to fail. Collectively, as a whole, as a unit, we're not going to be like the other cultures. Chinese come over here, they get businesses right smack dab in our hood. You know what I'm saying? We spending money with them. Beauty supply store, liquor store, their little restaurants, stuff like that. And now you're starting to see the Latinos. They got their little businesses. You know what I'm saying? They thriving. Everybody thriving but us. Yeah, we have, a little bit more opportunities in a sense. You know what I'm saying? It's not like, oh yeah, we got Oprah's a millionaire, Tyler Perry's a millionaire, and all that, billionaire, whatever. I meant to say billionaire, but what are they doing for the community? Nothing. Why? Because they can't. Because the white man is giving them their money, and they're not gonna let us. They're not gonna let them help us and help us. You know what I'm saying? Like, and people get mad about that, but you got to understand what's been done, what they have done to us. When we was thriving, when we had our own banks, our own hospitals, our own everything, what did the government do? They bombed Black Wall Street. You know what I'm saying? Like, they don't want us to thrive. So therefore, after, then we had all these black, these black silver leaders that was helping us. Like the Black Panther Party was helping us. What they do? The government killed them. They had something in place called COINTELPRO. Look that up. COINTELPRO was something they used to dismantle these black organizations that was helping our community. You know what I'm saying? Like they illegally spied on us and all that. All FBI doing this. You know what I'm saying? So the government is a part of our oppression. That's what I'm saying. They're a part of our oppression. Like they keep us oppressed, and they would never let us rise as a whole together. Why do you think we haven't got our 40 acres and a mule, and we're not going to get it? If people think banking on, oh, we about to get a 40 acres and a mule, they're just talking about reparations. They ain't trying to give us nothing. You know what I mean? If they was to pay us, we would be rich. You hear me? Like, but they're not trying to do it. Then they're not gonna do it. You know what I'm saying? We worked 400 years, or our ancestors did rather, with no payment. Everybody else got reparations but us. Everybody else got reparations for us. You know what I'm saying? They stripped us of our whole identity. And this is why I want to talk about this, because we've been taught lies about the Bible. We ain't been taught right about the Bible, man. Like about our culture, not religion, man. Religion is man-made. I don't subscribe to religion. I don't subscribe to Christianity. I stop that. You know what I'm saying? About the truth about what we've been taught, man. It's been lies, man. And I'm really trying to appeal to our people to wake up, man. Like, you know what I'm saying? Even if you a pastor, you watching this, man. If you're a pastor and you're watching this, I beg of you to please study. Like really dig deep. Ask y'all to show you in his word. There's so many scriptures in there that's talking about us, man. And I watched this one guy on YouTube. A lot of ministers I used to watch, not these mega stars and all that celebrity preachers. I never was into them. I know they was false anyway, but a lot of ministers I used to watch, I don't watch them no more because they ain't talking about the truth, So this is one guy that I watch on YouTube. His channel is called Awakening Remnant Coalition, and he talks about how he was a Baptist pastor, a preacher, pastor, whatever, and he was fooled too. He's talking about what they talked about in the theological seminary school and all that stuff. He talked about that. How they would discourage them from reading like other books, like the lost books of the Bible. They really try to discourage us from reading the lost books of the Bible. But I urge you to read them. Ask y'all to lead you to these books, man. I suggest starting with the Sefer Bible. They have the Apocrypha in them, in the Old Testament. Read those. It's going to really enlighten you. And then just kind of go from there. Let the Holy Spirit lead you, because that's his job anyway, And we are from the tribe of Judah. I ain't talking about Africans. We're not Africans. Okay? We are the true Israelites. We are the ones from the Bible. The Bible is literally our history book. The Bible is literally about us. All these pagan holidays they gave us, the Roman Catholics gave us these pagan holidays in place of the things of the feasts and all that stuff we supposed to be doing that y'all gave us. They gave us these pagan holidays like Christmas, Easter, Thanksgiving, all Valentine's Day, all this stuff, Mother's Day. So we won't do what we supposed to do. Y'all made a covenant with our forefathers, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. And I just really need us. Sunday is not our day. It's the Sabbath, which is today. We're supposed to keep this day holy, resting, worshiping Yah. Sunday is not the day to worship like they changed it to. And all this stuff, man, you can look up. You can look up the Willie Lynch letter for yourself and read it for yourself. You can look up how the Roman Catholics changed the day of worship from Saturday to Sunday, and now it's nowhere near in the Bible. They even admit they changed it. They think they have power like Yah. They compare themselves to Yah. You know what I'm saying? They basically said that they're God on earth, and that's how they move. Now you see that they passed it where the priest can bless same sex marriage. They're blasphemous. You know what I'm saying? And every single church, building, church, denomination, doesn't matter. You guys are all under the Roman Catholic system. Whether you want to believe it or not, you worshiping on Sunday, Roman Catholic. You think Jesus or Yeshua rose on Sunday, Roman Catholic, because he did not raise on Sunday, he raised on the Sabbath. You celebrating Christmas and all this stuff, Roman Catholic. So you can't tell me that, oh, I got nothing to do with the Catholic. I don't pray to no idol, and I don't pray to all these stuff. It doesn't matter if you don't pray to it or not. You're still part of the system. I need from us to break free from this Willie Lynch letter. We need to break free from this, because that's what we're all under, and that's why we can't shake when you hear the truth. It sounds so foreign. Yeah, it does. But you read the Bible. I'm telling you, read the Bible for yourself, man. Like, read it for yourself. Study it for yourself. Look into these lost books that they tell you not to read. Read them. It's gonna open your eyes so much more, you know. And I don't think I'm gonna step my foot back into another church, to be honest with you. You know, like, maybe I will, but I enjoy my Sabbath group that I'm in every Saturday, worshiping Yah with like-minded Christians, and we knowing the truth, we coming out the lie. Y'all don't even know y'all in a form of delusion with this Christianity stuff. It, it's leading y'all straight to hell, whether you believe it or not, because it's not teaching you the truth. It's teaching y'all all lies. You know, the rapture and all that stuff. We've been taught about the rapture. Oh, you know, rapture, first of all, is not even in the Bible. It's called the day of Yah. You know what I'm saying? Where he's coming back to avenge for his people. He's coming back to avenge for the scattered tribes of Judah and the remnant. I mean, and the Gentiles that's grafted in. You know what I'm saying? Like, he's gonna bring us back to our land. They're not even talking about this. I haven't heard no pastor in church ever talk about how the tribe of Judah is scattered through the earth. We thinking that the Ish people over there is the chosen people of Yah, but they're not. Look how they get down. They the main ones that's racist. But anyway, so I just wanted to come on here and say this. You know what I'm saying? I don't want this video to be too long. You know, I may do a part two to this, because I want to talk about more. You know what I mean? But my goal was to read this Willie Lynch letter, and I plan on, I think next week I'm gonna talk about some more stuff within this, and I'm gonna read some scriptures next week in regards to this, because y'all put a fire in me that I just can't be quiet about it. I'm trying to reach out to people, because guess what? It's about to get worse. 2019 made 400 years we've been in the land of our captive. Just think about that. And it's in the Bible. I'm going to get to that. As a matter of fact, I'm going to read it right now. It's in Deuteronomy. I got my scarf. I'm not trying to be on here too long, so. Well, you know what? No, next week we're gonna talk about us being in the land 400 years, okay? And I'm gonna talk about how stuff is about to get worse, and how judgment is now on the nation. You looking at all this stuff, the judgment is now on the nation. But think about what I said, and again, I'm coming back next week. I got some stuff. I'm about to break it more down. But just think about this. Stockholm Syndrome. Think about the Willie Lynch letter. Think about what's going on, and how we are oppressed, and how they keeping us oppressed. Okay. So I hope this video found you guys well, and I appreciate all the love and the support. And yeah, you guys, have a blessed Sabbath. Matthew 22:14 says, "For many are called, few are chosen. Be blessed."